Hello! Here is the first card for the January monthly club cards. We're going to make this cute card using the Butterfly Gala bundle. Now, I spritzed, once I did the background, I'm going to show you how to do that. Once I did the background, I spritzed it with Champagne Mist Shimmer Spritz. So I'm trying to see if you can maybe see the shimmer on there. Like that. It's really cute. The ones that I'm mailing out, I can't do that because I didn't assemble the background for you, but I will show you how to do it by doing it on the card I'm going to do in the video. So, we're using a Butterfly Gala bundle. It consists of the Butterfly Gala stamp set and the coordinating Butterfly Duet punch. And we're going to punch out a whole whack of butterflies out of the punch and then put them on in a random pattern. Now, you know how random I am, being OCD. Randomness doesn't happen in my world, so this is outside of my comfort zone. But anyways, there's the envelope and here's the inside. And you can color them, or you don't have to color them, because this stamp set comes with stamps that color for you. You don't have to color, you just stamp on top of your image. So there's 4 different butterfly images in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one doesn't need a lot of coloring. This one is kind of like a monarch. These 2 are more Art Deco-y. And today I'm going to be using, let me see, this one. And then I'll show you how to use these 2 pieces to color that in. And then there's the body and the antlers. No, antenna. Yeah, okay. Antlers on a butterfly. Yep. Let's carry on. So I'm going to put this. Maybe I'll put it over on this side, because that side it usually gets in my way. Can you still see that? There we are. Okay. Well, we have the envelope, your card base, and I've already started putting the butterflies on because it takes a while. Your inside piece, the piece that the sentiment goes on, and the piece to stamp and cut out the butterfly. And then there's a piece of Coastal Cabana and Granny Apple Green reversible ribbon. Isn't this, it's satin ribbon. It's absolutely gorgeous. So it's reversible. On one side there's Coastal Cabana, and on the other side there's Granny Apple Green. I believe that's the colors. Now, let me check, because apparently I forget things. Coastal Cabana and Granny Apple Green. Yeah. So that's the ribbon. We're going to use Lemon Lime Twist, because I found that Granny Apple Green was a bit too dark, but Lemon Lime Twist really works well with the ribbon. And Coastal Cabana to put the sentiment on. Okay, so I give you 2 8.5 by 2 and a something or other. 8.5 by 2.5 inch strips of white cardstock, and you can get 10 sets of butterflies out of here, and you only need 9 if you do it the way I do it, but I gave you extra just in case you want extra. Okay, so let's get these pieces out of the way. We're going to finish off by putting a big butterfly down here in this corner, so I'm just putting adhesive on the back, and you don't have to be too particular about your adhesive. You're going to cut off the excess that hangs out past the edge of the cardstock. And it's completely up to you which way you put your butterflies on and how much you cut off. And I like not having it all glued down so that parts of them are still lifted off. So I put a big one in that corner, and this corner I'm going to put the little one. Oops, tape's too long. Fold it. There we go. So that's going to take up that spot. Now, I'm not worried about right here, because that's going to be covered up by the sentiment and the ribbon. So now I've got them all on, and there's extras, so if you wanted to, say, put 2 in this corner instead of just 1, you could do that. Okay, let's do that. Let's just take this guy off gently, move him up a bit, and then we'll put this one on down here. There. And I still got a couple of leftovers. You're also going to have a leftover butterfly when you cut out the big one. Okay, so now we're going to cut off all the excess. So if you turn it over, and you just follow along on the edge and just cut off anything that's sticking out past the edge of the cardstock. Just like that. It's really quite easy. And this end, just like that. Now to do this one, you have to close the card and then cut. Even if there's a little bit sticking out, you have to cut it off or it's not going to fit in your envelope. If you're going to send it with a bigger envelope or without an envelope, then you can leave the littler pieces sticking out. Okay, so that's all that. I'm just going to get it into the garbage. There we are. Now, glue dots, we're going to do the ribbon. And I found it's a lot easier if you glue dot. Now this one I did blue, green, blue, so on this one I'm going to start out with green. And I don't think it matters which way you start. You're just going to lay it out like this and do like a zigzaggy thing. And then, come on, just stay there, because before you do all the gluing with the glue dots, you need to make sure that you've got it wide enough that it's going to show out the edge. See, like that. But not too far that's going to hang out past the edge of the cardstock for the card base. So that one, and then that one, and then make sure it doesn't hang out. And then I'll have a little bit to cut off. I just gave you a little bit extra just so you can play with it. Okay, so get my first glue dot onto my scissors. And we're going to start with that. And we'll put the glue dot right there. And don't touch the glue dots too much, because the more you touch anything that has adhesive on it, the faster the adhesive starts working. So you know the pearls and rhinestones and sequins and all that stuff that's got adhesive on them? When you're taking them off with a backing sheet, try not to touch the adhesive, because they are really particular about how many times you touch them. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. This is going to lay down once I put the glue dots on the back of it. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it over. And glue dots are the best for this. You can use tape on the back if you want, but I don't like how that makes your ribbons sit unnaturally. So that's why I tend to not use, whoops, it stuck to my finger. That's why I tend to not use tape for the whole thing. I like just sporadic pieces, and then it kind of lays properly. Now comes the tricky part, figuring out where you want it before you push it down. So I'm just going to lay it on there and then put this on to make sure that's where I want it. Yeah. Okay, push that glue dot down, and that glue dot down, and that glue dot down, and that glue dot down. Now, get out my handy dandy ribbon only scissors and give it a little trim. There we are. So there, and it's just attached on the ends so that it lays nice and flat, and then when we put the sentiment on, that's where it's going to be. So apparently I didn't put the spritz on. Okay, so let's see if we can. Oh my gosh, ladies, you know me. No, it's not going to come up. Okay, so to do the spritz, I think I've done this before on camera. You need some kind of a box, and this is just an empty one. And then you put your project down and fill one of our spritzers with rubbing alcohol and the champagne mist paint. So this is the champagne mist paint. There it is. And about an ounce to 10 drops. The more drops you put in, the sparklier it is. So I'm way up above. I don't want to, just want a gentle pump on it. I don't want a stream. So there it is, just that easy. And it doesn't really matter if you spray the ribbon because it's rubbing alcohol, so it's going to dry. I put my glue dots away. Now the stamp set comes with "You've Been on My Mind," and we can use a little note. So I've done "You've Been on My Mind." So I think a little note for this one. The ones that I mailed away say "You've been on my mind." So that can be anything, like sympathy, or I'm thinking of you, or happy birthday, if you put happy birthday on the inside. I'm just going to stick this out of the way. And this is Coastal Cabana I'm using to stamp the sentiment. There we are. Okay, so that's that piece done. And if you want to spritz it before you put the sentiment on, because this is water-based paint or ink, and it will run if you put it on, if you spritz it afterwards. Okay, so now we're going to stamp the butterfly. On this other piece of white, and you want it down towards the bottom because that's where the punch is, and it's going to punch the little one out as well as stamp it, because that's just the way it is. So you can make, where did I put that little piece of cardstock I was saving to? There it is. You can make an extender. I'm sure I've showed you guys this before. So this is just a scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm going to attach it to the top of that one, and this gives me a little handle so that when I put this in, it moves around and you can get it exactly where you want it. I love this punch because it's really quite true. Apparently when they make rubber stamps, rubber shrinks as it's drying, so that's why the stamps sometimes don't match exactly where the punch needs them to be, but that doesn't happen with photopolymer. It doesn't shrink, so that's why they're trying to do most of the punched images that have the cording punches, do them in photopolymer now. Okay, so now we're going to color the butterfly, and it's really easy to see through this. Now you're going to see my head, I think, a bit, but I need to lean over and get it lined up. It's really easy to see where the stamped image is underneath there. I'll just hold that. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. And then it comes off, and look at that, no coloring required. And we'll do its bottom half. And you just want to make sure that all the little divots are in the spot, the right spot. And then stamp that. So that's those two done, and the butterfly's done. Now we need to do his body. And there's a little stamp for that. Don't do the body until you've got the stamped and punched image done, no, because otherwise you can't tell where you need to put the body. Maybe if I got color that I can put underneath. I'm trying to show you here, maybe on my hand. See how it lines up really nicely. Now, I didn't spritz this on the last one. Maybe I will. Hang on. I just got my box off. camera here, and I'm putting the butterfly in it, giving my spritz a shake, and from way up here. You don't want to be too close because it's going to run the ink if you have it too close. So there, I gave it a bit of a sparkle. Let's see if you can you see the sparkle on it? Oh my God! I love sparkle. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to stamp the inside and the envelope. Now this is a hot dog card. So you want your inside oriented this way, but I like stamping sideways. I know, I'm weird. Yes, I am. Hey. Whoops. Trying to move it over so you can see what I'm doing. Now, if you wanted at home, you can stamp all 3 different butterflies on there, but in class I'll just have the 1, maybe 2 out. There we are. Now, if you wanted, you could use your markers and color this, or you can just do what we did on the first one. I'm not going to color the envelope though. Make sure you take time to line it up before you stamp it, because believe me, you can get it off. Uh-oh, I missed that one a bit. Oh well. Just remember, the longer you line it up, the better it is. There we are. Now we'll do the top. And it's just a matter of lining it up too. See how quick it is? I love this stamp set. And I love the matching dies. There we go. So now I'm going to do something really funky. I am going to take out the matching solid little butterfly. And I'm going to get his body stamped first before because I didn't bring an extra block and I need this block, so I'm just going to stamp his body. There is a body for the little one, but I find that you don't really need it, and sometimes it's hard to get it lined up so that it looks half decent. Okay, so now I'm going to put the solid image on for the little butterfly, and we'll use Coastal Cabana because that's the other color that we're using that matches the ribbon. And just stamp the little ones too, make them colory. Oh, there I am making up a word again. Colory. Did you know? Colory. There we are. Look at that. Is that cool? Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So now my butterfly is dry. So remember how to do your butterflies. You take your fingernail, put them on the outside of his body and fold the wing up. And do it on the other side as well and fold the wing up. Then you get a nice flat area to put the glue, plus you're still able to put the dimensional on to hold his wings up. So I'm putting a mini dimensional on each side. You can use the big ones, you just have to cut them. It's not a big issue. And put a little bit of glue down his body. You don't want too much because you don't want it to squirch out. And we'll just put that on there. And you just have to hold his body down for a couple of seconds. Whoops. Yeah, do what I say, not what I do. Sure. You just have to hold his body down for a couple of seconds till the glue kicks in. Now this one I put on there straight This one I've kind of done them kitty wampus sort of. And now I can go back in with the antenna. Yay, I got it right this time. And stamp the antenna. There we are. Now I could go back here and put antennas on all these, but I don't feel like it, so I'm not. Okay, so there we go. We've got the outside, and it's all spritzed and dried, and that goes on there, and then your butterfly. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of the sentiment piece. Make sure they're on there properly. Take the backs off. And you don't need in the center because it's going over top of the ribbon. And the ribbon will help to keep it up in the air. Okay, there's the card. There's my sentiment. Just need to make sure it's straight because I get things. Oh, it's not. Okay, that'll do. There we are. There's our card. Now we'll just put the inside in. Whoops. Oops. You can see tape there. There we go. There's the card. There's the envelope and the card. And here's the envelope and card, the original one. And the recipe for this card is here. You'll also get a copy of this, but just in case you want to do it before. This one came right out of our Stampin' Success magazine, which is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator magazine that comes out quarterly. There we go. Thanks, ladies. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to see you in February at our monthly sampling club. Bye for now.